That's the volume element saying that you're in four-dimensional space and you're going to take an integral.
And why to a negative g? Why to a negative gravity?
Yeah, that's the determinant of the space-time metric with which you might have an issue. Okay? So in other words, you're normalizing, you're saying that if the rulers look one way or the rulers look another way, according to Einstein, you have to put more weight or less weight on a region of space. Do you know what that R is? That's the foreplay, and then in the parentheses is where the stuff gets crazy.
Explain it.
That's what's called the scalar curvature. So after Einstein did his big general relativistic field equations, that was like Einstein scaling the shear face of Half Dome. Hilbert walked up the backside like a week later and said, you can derive your super complicated field equations from the simplest thing in the world, which is the scalar curvature. So when you say everything is curved, that R is the scalar curvature of Einstein's pseudo-Riemannian metric. And then, remember F mu nu? That's what we were just riffing on before. That's saying we don't know what to do with the electromagnetic stuff, so we're going to do the stupidest thing possible, and we're going to figure out how big it is and square that, and we're going to shove that into this thing to be minimized, which means make this as small as possible. So give me the configuration that gives me the least electromagnetic size. Then, because of 1954, a guy named C.N. Yang and his sidekick Mills, who didn't do nearly as much afterwards, said, you know what, the strong and the weak force are exactly the same structure as electromagnetism, and we didn't know that. So nature, in that first line from the R to the W, takes curvature 4 times, and 3 of those are doubled, like F, F, G, G, W, W, but one of them is singly in there. And that is really sort of the soul of the incompatibility, not what Ed Witten says about you can't quantize gravity. That's not the discrepancy. We've been lied to for a long time, in my opinion. What it is that the curvature that enters as gravitational and the curvature that enters as the internal forces, the nuclear forces and electromagnetism, occurs differently. One is Riemannian, one is Ehresmannian. The line below that, Dirac, in that term psi bar d psi, is telling us the kinetics and the interaction through minimal coupling of the matter with the force that's in the line above.
Right.
And then the last 3 terms are the fudge factor due to Peter Higgs, because when he found out in the late 50s, a gal named Madame Wu, the Dragon Lady of Physics, told us that if you put cobalt-60 and let it beta decay in a strong magnetic field, all the particles come out spun one way. And that left-right asymmetry meant that you couldn't